The next tip I've got for you is basically how to fill up the mix at the end of making your drop idea. So things I'm going to include is just filling it out with cymbals and how to add groove with your cymbals and percussion elements, and then using reverb swells as well for that, and all sorts of different kind of effects to fill up like the ambient and overall space in the mix around your bass lead. Alright, so now we're on the last couple steps of finishing up our track. So I added in a couple channels here, a couple samples, hi-hats, crash, white noise, and our sound actually, which we're gonna look at first here. So they're all off right now, but we're gonna focus on this first. So the sound that we made from the audio resampling back in Tech Tip number 5. So this sound, if you recall, I actually took it and I warped it, so I stretched it and then I cut it off. I pitched it up and used the Complex Pro, and then I processed it. So I'm actually gonna turn all these off and show you one by one what I did. And this is just to add a little more ambience and like fill up kind of the round part of the track outside of all the sounds. So here it is. And I'm actually just gonna fade this in just a tiny bit. So what I did was add an OTT, so you hear it now. And I cut this. And I added it in, so I pitched it up to get it in key so that the F was the main harmonic, and then I boosted that F and cut off the top end. So as you can see, when I boost it, it's showing F right on to the left here. So the next thing I did was add this redux, which I thought was cool to add on the high end. Kind of gives it a new texture, and then I added a saturator with a soft clip. And then I wanted to get rid of that grittiness in the high end so it doesn't ruin the high end. We're going to fill that in with other stuff in a bit here. Then I added utility and I put the width to about 160, 159. So just like more on the outsides. And then I added the reverb, this Mega Flexion, and I just put it to 30% and turned the stereo up and just kind of filtered at the low end. And then I'm gonna actually add one more EQ here. Just one to cut off all the bottom. So now when we hear this together, so it kind of adds a nice little ambience in the background, actually fills up the track quite a bit. And I just turned it down there. So that was a cool sound. It ended up working out in our favor that it was something that could work here. So the next couple things I'm going to do is actually add in this white noise to just fill up the top end a bit. So we have this sample, I'm going to turn it down a bit. And I'm just going to add it on the beat 1. And then just fade out on the beat 2 to just give our clap a little bit more life. I'm going to go into our audio effects here. So now let's hear that. So without. And now I'm gonna bring that white noise in. I'm just gonna adjust that fade a little bit more. Make it a little bit longer. Cool. So the next things we're gonna do is add in a crash, and I pulled in 2 samples. I wasn't sure which one was gonna work better. Feel like this will be the one to use. So I'm gonna put this back here. And I'm gonna cut that off right there, and I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit more. And then maybe we can actually put this crash on this one. Cool. Now the next thing, oh, these are all little vocal samples I actually added in. I'm gonna delete that. And now I've got a couple hi-hats we can play with, so I'm just gonna make a new track right here. And we're gonna see what hi-hats we want to use. So I think this would sound good over the claps. And on the kicks on beat 1, 3, except for where our crash is, so let's listen to that now. All right, now let's bring in these other hi-hats. So we'll move this up. What hi-hat do we want? I feel like I'm gonna get rid of this one. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna adjust the groove here. So I'm gonna put it with where the synth is. And then we're just gonna copy that. Cool. So we'll leave it out of the first one because I'm gonna put a little vocal in there and do a reverb swell, and that should bring some life into it. Now I'm gonna make one more track here. I'm gonna match this. So the reason I put it behind the beat is it just grooves so much more. That's like really what makes it kind of give like a more forward motion. That's also why I put these basses a little bit behind the beat. So rather than just being a straight electronic like on the grid, it kind of feels more lively, more human approach to it now. So next thing we're gonna do is just take this hat and we're gonna get a little creative and add it within here. We'll just see what works. So we're probably gonna wanna put that with this here. put that right there and lower it and just stretch it a little bit. And I think it'd be good to like keep that groove going for a bit. Yeah, I think that sounds really good. And the track is definitely becoming more lively now. So this is another little thing I use a lot. Everyone's pretty much using it, but it's that little laser. So I'm actually going to pitch it down. I'm just going to put it right in the middle here, so. Get rid of these. I'm going to turn it down a bit, but it might actually be cool to have right up in here. All right, so last thing I'm just going to add is try and figure out what vocal we want here. So got a little ha.
Kill them. Yeah.
I think maybe the ha would be kind of cool to have right here, but again, just a little bit behind the beat. So let's try that. I'm gonna warp it. Just stretch it a little bit. And again, we're gonna want to change this to complex.
Kill them.
This might actually sound really cool right here.
Kill them. Kill them. Kill them.
So now this could be fun to just kind of take this out right here. Put the crash here instead. And then do one of these reverse crashes. Take out the white noise, our little sound. We'll leave the sub in for now, but we'll pause that bass.
Kill them.
Yeah, see, that's kind of fun. We'll cut out the sub bass and the kick for a second to just see what that sounds like.
Kill them.
Yeah, I like that. That'd be something I'd do. Maybe not right at this point of the song, but once we get creating more of the song, I'd probably put it as like a fill.
Kill them.
And then maybe just this to end it. Since we're only doing this much of the song.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next fun part we get to do is the reverb swell. So this is something fun that I do on a lot of my tracks. So I'm going to pull up Actually, I'm going to pull up a large hall. So I put this on my bass where the one hit is. Just going to cut that off. I'm going to widen this up a bit, and I'm going to turn this way up. Turn the dry wet down. And I'm going to turn that pre-delay back. Cut off the low end. All right, so this is something I do on a lot of my tracks, but I'm going to just draw it in here. 2 points. There we go. And then I'm going to curve this. So now we've got, and we're going to open that up a bit more because that needs to be, it's still too high. Cool. So now we can go to, where's the dry wet? Add this in, and we'll also add one of those right here. So we get a, I'm actually going to put that back up the octave because it's getting a little muddy. And then we'll add another one of these. Right here as well. So let's hear that in the
Kill them. Yeah.
Awesome, so that really added a lot more life and groove to the whole tune we have there. So I guess we're done this part. The next part I'll just do a couple simple mix down and group mix down techniques to really bring the track a little bit further, and then I'll just finish it off with a simple Ableton stock master. So see you in the last video.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting, and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.